and welcome to Hungary Reports, National Public Media and One's foreign language news hour. I'm Csenge Gabriela Ibolya with today's news from Hungary and the Carpathian Basin. Let's begin. Both President János Áder and Prime Minister Viktor Orbán met with the newly elected Slovakian president. Zuzana Čaputová was invited to Hungary by János Áder. She also refuses to support the migrant quota system and finds it important to protect the outer borders of Europe. Her views on climate policy and nuclear power are very similar to the Hungarian standpoint.
The Hungarian President János Áder met the new Slovakian president for the first time since her inauguration less than a month ago. The Slovakian president's opinion on Visegrad countries was that a V4 cooperation has a point if they want more than just the protection of regional interests. Our cooperation must represent values such as the rule of law, democracy and freedom, so that they don't see us as countries that weaken or disrupt the European Union, Zuzana Čaputová said. Slovakian and Hungarian standpoints are very similar regarding climate protection, János Áder stated, emphasizing that they agreed with his Slovakian colleague that every country must choose its energy policy for itself. He added that nuclear energy is a must-have for reaching climate protection objectives. János Áder also talked about migration. He said that the two countries' views are the same. Europe's outer borders must be protected, the obligatory quota cannot be supported, and regarding immigration, prevention is the most important. That means that we should take financial aid and funding to the areas, countries and people who are in need, and to ensure that they don't need to leave their homes, he said. Prime Minister Viktor Orbán also met the Slovakian president later at the Carmelite Monastery, where they discussed the Visegrad cooperation, the two countries' relations, and European politics. The Hungarian Prime Minister and the Slovakian president agreed that the Visegrad countries' cooperation is a strategic issue for Central Europe, especially now, they said, when the most important questions about the continent's future are being debated in the European Union.
Hungary is helping Georgia on many different levels when it comes to developing its ties with the European Union as well as NATO, Péter Szijjártó said in Georgia, where he took part in an international conference. The minister emphasized it concerns Central Europe and in it Hungary if stability, peace and development cannot be achieved in the eastern neighborhood of the European Union, as this could be a negative influence on security and the economy of Central Europe.
12 Hungarian observers participate in the EU monitoring mission here in Georgia, and we will continue to do so in the future. In fact, come September, in support of the European integration processes, an employee of the Hungarian Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Trade, one of our diplomats, will work here in Tbilisi for the Georgian Ministry of Foreign Affairs to help Georgians prepare for the European integration process.
It's quite probable that the Hungarian government will upgrade their GDP forecast just like the European Commission has done, but they'll wait until they have data from the second quarter, said the Deputy State Secretary of the Ministry of Finance here in M1. It was on Wednesday that experts from Brussels updated this year's growth to 4.4%, which is even higher than official Hungarian figures.
The railway station of Gödöllő will be completely renewed and a new overpass will be added next to it. However, railway developments are ongoing not only here but in the whole country. The state will spend an amount of 5.2 billion euros for this purpose in the next 6 years. The development of railways is necessary for the stable growth of the Hungarian economy, which has increased fastest in Europe by more than 5% in the first quarter. Presumably, this has also played a role in the European Commission's decision to further improve the figures for this year's summer forecast of the Hungarian GDP. It is estimated currently that the gross domestic product will increase by 4.4% in 2019. This is noteworthy because in the past, experts from Brussels systematically painted a gloomy picture of the Hungarian economy and corrected the data afterwards. The Deputy State Secretary for Finance stated that the forecast of experts from Brussels is realistic, because after the first quarter, the economy performed well in the second one as well. Both from the side of industrial production and from that of investment, construction, consumption, as well as, for example, that of retail sale, it can be seen that the impetus of the first quarter did not stop at all. This impetus is expected to continue, the State Secretary said. In addition to current processes, further reduction of personal income tax may become possible, stated the president of the Hungarian State Audit Office to the Daily Magyar Hírlap.
Ukrainian children are camping for a week at Lake Balaton. The group of 10 to 12-year-old students live just 20 kilometers from the front lines where the war in Donbass is currently taking place. Included in the programs organized by the honorary consul, the children will also visit the parliament.
After a bit of waiting on the stairs, exploration begins. These kids arrived to Hungary from Ukraine for a week. They're attending a camp in Siófok, but they're also making a stop at Parliament. They come from the Donbass region and are here to relax and rest, away from the currently war-torn region of eastern Ukraine. Unfortunately, these children have spent their last 4 or 5 years hearing the sound of weapons and mines go off, the honorary consul said. Volnovakha, where the group came from, is a small town. According to the school's director, the area has mostly been calm lately. No matter how hard it is, we receive lots of help. We feel the support of His Excellency the Honorary Consul, foundations, and Hungary as well, she said. The children also received a computer room in their school to help them learn Hungarian more easily, for example. The president of Parliament's National Cohesion Committee explained that Hungary sends all the help it can to Ukraine in the hopes of a peaceful settlement. For example, we introduced the no-visa entry policy to the EU, we coordinated the medical care of wounded soldiers in Hungary, sent humanitarian aid, and at the same time we expect the Ukrainian government to ensure that Hungarians living in Transcarpathia, Ukraine, be able to use their native language freely, Károly Páncél said. The kids also visited the Budapest Zoo before returning back to Lake Balaton.
Hungary will host the first Robot Olympics in Europe. More than 60,000 youngsters are interested in the robot building competition worldwide. The aim is to bring science closer to students in a playful manner. On Thursday, it was found out in Tatabánya which teams will represent Hungary in the finals come November.
This is how a football match starts. That is, if the players are robots. Students built and programmed these robots to complete various tasks. We designed robots that can look after plants, take them outside for some sunlight, and help with little assignments, so there's no need for human work or input, the student explained. Since its first launch in 2014, the world competition is becoming more and more popular. 176 groups have already entered the race, and I see that every year more and more people are interested in it. So far, this whole sport competition has been developing every year, Zoltán Szögi said. The organizers want students to expand their knowledge in a playful manner so that they can later utilize their skills in the job market. About 10–15% of large companies indicate that they require a digitally competent workforce, which will grow to 50% within a few years. At this contest that we're seeing now, the children are basically playing while developing or building their futures at the same time, the Deputy State Secretary said. The world competition will come to an end in Hungary, where 6 teams will represent Hungary at the finals in November.
This year, once again, Eger's Ésekkerc waits visitors with the Veteran Car exhibition this weekend. Joining the Bikavér Festival in honor of the local wine, old-timers line up every year. Buses, cars, motorcycles and tractors can be seen every day from 9 a.m. to midnight at the Veteran Vehicle exhibition. On Saturday at 4 p.m, the vehicles will have a parade in the historic centre of Eger. Almost 300 programs at 21 venues await those attending the Falu Festival this year. Families are awaited with concerts, exhibitions, handicraft programs, folk games, author-led meet and greets and traditional shows till Sunday evening. In the heart of Zselic, locals also have a huge part in the series of programs organised in Szilvás-Szentmárton. There will be several homes featuring exhibitions and handicraft programs for families. And that's all for now, but don't forget you can catch Hungary Reports every night after 11 p.m. news and online as always. Do stick around and watch our German, Russian and Chinese language news. Thank you for watching and have a lovely evening.